Hey there, I'm Terry Thomas, and welcome to Terry's Next Chapter. Today, I want to talk about cozy comfort books. Now, a couple weeks ago, I really noticed how a lot of my videos have the word cozy in the title and on the thumbnails and stuff. And I thought to myself, you should probably step back and stop using cozy so much. And then as I thought about it, I'm like, but I like cozy and I like to feel warm and fuzzy and cozy in my home. And I like books that make me feel this way. So I decided instead of avoiding it, that I would lean into it and do a video all about cozy comfort reads. And these are books that I love and find cozy for lots of reasons, and some of them are personal to me, but I just wanted to recommend some for you if you're looking for a cozy read, that these are some of my faves. And yeah, just wanted to suggest some. Okay. So the first one I want to talk about is Little Women. Little Women is my favorite from when I was growing up. I read it as a kid. My dad read it to me. It just gives me all the warm, fuzzy, cozy feels of family and the love in the family. And I remember just being taken away as a kid into this world and just really loving it. And I would think about it a lot. Like I said, my dad read it to me, so it just was intertwined with that feeling. And then as I got older, I have my own kids. I actually have three girls. I know it's four in here, but it just made me feel like I was kind of living my own Little Women story. And I do feel like we have that cozy feeling with me and my girls, especially when everybody's home for the holidays. So it's such a time of year now to be thinking about coziness and getting together as family. And so, yeah, I just really love this book. And it's a little outdated in some things. And, some of the language is older, but I just really love it. And the movies, I love the different versions out there, going back to the Katharine Hepburn version from, I think that was in the 30s, and then the one in the 90s with Susan Sarandon as Marmee, and the most recent that Greta Gerwig made, where she didn't follow the chronology of the book, but it's still a great. I just love it. Was so clever how she did Little Women in the most recent version. Oh, and Timothy Chalamet, woo, he's my favorite Laurie ever of all the Lauries, and Florence Pugh as the best Amy. I always joke and say how she played Amy better than Louisa May Alcott wrote her. So it's just so good. I love the new version, and that movie feels real cozy too. So highly recommend. Okay, so that's my first one. The next group of books I want to talk about is I want to talk about Emily Henry as an author, but I would just want to say that I don't usually have videos where I have a lot of physical books because, I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I use a lot of Hoopla and Libby and borrow books, and I only really buy books when I absolutely love a book. So yeah, I like cozy books, so I happen to own a lot of these. I think I have one book in this video where that I don't own yet. Anyways, so I wanted to start here with Emily Henry's Happy Place. Happy Place is actually the book that got me back into reading fiction. Um, my I was wanting to get back into fiction because I love nonfiction and was reading that for years. And, I did read some fiction. I read all the Harry Potters and Twilight and, Hunger Games, those. But I wasn't reading on a consistent basis. And I was like, how do I get back into it? Like, how do I get back into the world? And my daughter suggested Booktube. And the rest is history, man. Now I read constantly. I know all the authors that are out there, and I'm having so much fun. And here I'm doing my own YouTube videos about books. So I just love it. It's just changed my life, actually. But anyway, Emily Henry's Happy Place was the one of the first fiction books that I read in this time a couple years ago. And I just love how she writes characters. I love all the friends, and the friend group is so developed, and it's not just about the couple, but about everybody. And I was like, "Ooh, I want to find more authors like Emily Henry." Now I have to say, she is still my fave of in the romance genre so far. I have found a few others that I like and want to explore the backlist more, but yeah, Emily Henry is still the GOAT as far as I'm concerned. Happy Place is a great one. Book Lovers is also one I really like. I like how she plays with the trope of the city girl going to the country, and I don't want to I don't want to give spoilers or anything, but this is a fun one. Also, she really develops the sister relationship and the relationship between the two sisters, and it's really good. So, Happy Place for friend groups, this one for sisters and playing with the tropes, because I like when authors, they don't just follow the trope as is, as everybody else is doing it, but messes with it a little bit. It makes it more fun to me. Anyways, probably my favorite Emily Henry is Funny Story, though. Funny Story is really cute. It's adorable. It does make me laugh. But I think what feels so cozy about this one is that found family that's in it. There's a whole community that's developed. They really dig into family relationships of the two main characters. I love the arc of the heroine in this story, and how I say heroine, but just she goes through her own journey, and I really relate to this character, and it feels so warm and cozy to me, especially with the community that they develop around them, and it's really good. So I highly recommend just about any Emily Henry, but those three are my top ones. Now, the next book I want to talk about, it was a super surprise for me because I don't really read a lot of sci-fi. I did read Dune recently and I did like it, but this sci-fi is far and away the best that I have found. Not that I've read a ton, but I will read, and I do want to read more of Andy Weir's backlist, but Project Hail Mary is amazing. First of all, the science is fun, and it's written in like understandable language, and you're like, oh, that's cool. But also there's some surprise relationships that I don't want to talk about, but it feels cozy because of the main character. He's just funny. There's a cool friendship that develops in this that is a nice surprise. So if you want a cozy sci-fi book, I highly recommend Project Hail Mary. I think it's about as cozy as you can get for sci-fi, and it was one of my favorite books I read this year. So highly recommend Project Hail Mary. Okay. Then there was a couple of newer romances that I read this year that were surprises to me that feel super cozy. One is Honey and Spice by Bolu Babalola, and I don't know. It feels cozy. I love how she plays with gender dynamics in this book. I love the college vibes and the fall vibes. Fall vibes always feel super cozy to me too. And I really liked it. The banter in this book is amazing. It's just fun, funny, and I think pretty cozy for a cute romance. So yeah, just want to highly recommend Honey and Spice if you haven't read it, for real. Uh, even for the banter alone, it's just good because it's modern, but it's cute, and I just love the dynamic between the main characters in this one. Okay, and one that's gonna be a surprise maybe. It's not one that's as popular or known. I mean, I guess it is. And I think this one is cozy to me for more personal reasons. But I want to say that You Again by Kate Goldbach is a cozy comfort read, and will be to me. It's a future cozy comfort that I'll reread because, well, first of all, I this is a, I don't want to say it's not like a redo of When Harry Met Sally, but it's inspired by, let's say. And it's so good because it's really modernized. She's talking about dating. You know how, like, if you know When Harry Met Sally, which to me is a cozy movie, and it's one I rewatch every year, probably around this time of year, but anytime really. But this time of year is a great time to read When Harry Met Sally. Again, fall vibes. Fall vibes are always cozy, but it's cozy because I love When Harry Met Sally. So when Harry Met, okay, this is what I was going to say. So when Harry Met Sally, they're talking about, can men and women be friends, right? That's the big thing. Sorry to spoil for you. I don't think it is. I think everybody knows that that's the big dynamic that they're talking about. That's the jokes of the movie. Can men and women be friends, right? And how do we deal with that? Well, this updates that to more of a current conversation around dynamics between men and women and dating and friendship. And I don't want to spoil what the focus is, but it just brings it into today. But the other thing about it is that you kind of feel beats that feel like the When Harry Met Sally. Like it's not done in exactly the same way, which is cool about it. So, yeah, I don't know if I so one specific example, we all know the scene in When Harry Met Sally, right? When they're in the deli and she does her fake orgasm scene and it's funny and I'll have what she's having, everybody knows that, right? So in this, they don't do that, but there's a deli in this story that is an important part of the story. And also, there's ways where she kind of embarrasses him in public in a similar way. So, not a fake orgasm, but just that's just one example of how they take Kate Goldbeck takes something from the movie and brings it into the story without it being the same, but it's also fun. Anyways, so if you like When Harry Met Sally, I do highly suggest this as a cozy comfort read because it yeah, it does. It gives echoes of the movie without being derivative, is what I want to say about it. And it updates it. Oh, and they both have careers, which you don't really hear much about in When Harry Met Sally. But in this, it's a real New York story. And we all know that if you live in New York, you got to have a good career or a job, something. Anyways, so yeah, this is definitely an updated version, and I love it. And I find it cozy, and it will be a comfort read for me. I know going forward, I will definitely be rereading this. And okay, so another romance book I want to talk about that I don't have a physical copy of yet. It's my favorite Abby Jimenez book, and it's Just for the Summer. Of all of her books, I think it's my favorite one. It just feels real. It's fun, it's cute. I love the premise of it. The premise of it is that they both are like the last person, and happens in the beginning. So, they meet through social media stuff, and they both are the last person that other people date before they meet their partner. They're not the one, but before the person they last dated, they're the last person people date before they meet the one, if that makes sense. Anyways, it's fun and funny. So, what they decide to do is date each other so that they can then find their soulmates. And the story goes from there. Okay, so it's a fun premise. I think it's cute. It's one of my favorite, or it's probably my favorite Abby Jimenez book, and so it feels like a cozy comfort read because I know that I will be rereading it several times because it's good. Okay, and the last books that I want to talk about as cozy comfort reads now might not be your traditional comfort reads. But for me, they feel like cozy comfort reads, and it's a series because I like to reread them, and so they feel comfy to me and they feel cozy. And so I want to recommend as a cozy comfort read the Legendborn series by Tracy Dion. And why am I saying this is cozy comfort? Well, first of all, it does take place a lot in the autumn. It's a school-based thing, so that feels a little cozy. But what really makes it cozy to me is I really love these characters. I love the story. It's adventurous. It's something that I love to go back to. I've read it now 2 or 3 times, Legendborn. That's the first book. It's a YA fantasy series about it's actually got some King Arthur legend, but there's a whole other magic system, and I don't want to spoil it. but it's really cool, I think. And if you like King Arthur, I think it's a really good addition to that genre, if you will, if that's what that would be called, to the body of work that is King Arthur Legends. Um, it's modern too, so I just really like it. So you have Legendborn, that's the first one. The second one is Bloodmarked. Of course, there's a cute love triangle going on in this, and it picks up in Bloodmarked. But the book for me that so far, I don't know if it's my favorite. I think it's my favorite. I actually gave this a 6 out of 5 stars, Oathbound. This is her most recent. It came out this year. There is a fourth book coming out. I'm not exactly sure if it's coming out in 2026. But you know what I loved about Oathbound is that it's like, you know how when you watch a favorite show and then like like older characters who weren't around come back again? That's what's cool about this one. It feels like there's a coming together of all the different characters that we've been exploring in the other books, and they kind of get together in a weird way. And obviously I don't want to spoil any of it because there's 3 books and there's a lot. And I do read some fantasy. It's not my favorite genre, so that's another reason why I really love this, because this is one of my favorite series. And so it's a lot of fun. It feels cozy to me because I like to reread it. And that's, to me, I think, now that I think about it, I know I'm at this is the end of my video, but these books feel cozy to me because they're the books that I want to reread. And they feel warm, they feel like home, they feel like good characters I want to spend time with. I think that's what makes books cozy for me. They're the characters that I want to spend more time with. So these are the ones that I find cozy. These are the books that I want to reread. So I'm so interested to hear what books you do. What do you find cozy? I would love to hear about it in the comments. I love book recommendations myself, so send them my way. If you are looking for any, I hope some of these could be something that you would enjoy too. And thanks for spending this time with me, and I'll see you on my next vid. Oh, hi. My sidekick actually has something to say.